Hey YouTube, it's ICU and welcome to the 210th episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors. Alright, and to start off I wanted to preface by saying that if you're one of my regular viewers, you will notice that I am actually recording using a new background. So what do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. With that said, let's go ahead and continue and get right into the news in this week's episode. So first up, I wanted to talk about iPads, but first, this year's been absolutely exceptional for Apple enthusiasts because not only was nearly every detail surrounding the iPhone 6 leaked, but also Apple released two different iPhone models. First of which, of course, the 4.7-inch iPhone 6, and the second of which being the 5.5-inch iPhone 6 Plus. However, what about iPad models? Unfortunately, there hasn't been much information surrounding new iPads. And furthermore, any information that's been in the news circuit likely isn't based on any legitimate leaks. However, that's all about to end because as originally confirmed by The Loop, Apple has now issued invitations to their October media event, which is scheduled to take place on October 16th. And the tagline for this year's invitation reads as follows: "It's been too long." Now, this could mean one of a few different things. First of all, Apple has three major products that they haven't really released any significant updates for in quite a while. The first of which is actually the Mac Mini, followed by the Apple TV and the iPod Touch. So it could be a combination of the three that we actually see at this event, or Apple could just be focused on one of those. Also though, we are expected to see a Retina equivalent iMac, OS X Yosemite, and possibly a model similar to the 2013 Mac Pro with refreshed specs. And as for the event itself, it's scheduled to be held in Apple's own Town Hall Auditorium at the company's campus in Cupertino, California, and it will commence at 10 a.m. Pacific time on, again, October 16th. And I will have complete live coverage for you guys on Best Tech Info, not only in written form, but also in video form as well. So there will be a live video stream from within inside Apple's, again, Town Hall Auditorium when the event is actually taking place, and Apple is discussing not only the new iPad models, but also, again, expected to discuss Macs and more, possibly a new iPod Touch. We will see though once the event actually takes place next week. Again, stay tuned. I will have complete live coverage for you guys, and I will also post videos following the conclusion of the event here on my channel. So if you aren't already subscribed, just be sure to click the subscribe button down below next to my channel name if you're viewing this video on its main page. And with that said, let's actually discuss the iPads, possibly some new additions for the iPad Air, the second generation iPad Air that is. Of course, we do expect to see Touch ID in this year's new iPad models, but something else that we should have seen a while ago is actually a 2GB increase on the iPad Air as far as RAM is concerned. So the current generation iPad Air features only 1GB of RAM. According to a new leak, however, this may change with the second generation iPad Air, as it's expected to sport 2GB of RAM. However, just note that we likely won't know for sure until not only after the event, but also after the device is released and different sites like iFixit perform their teardowns on the new iPad models to actually see what's equipped under the hood. So let's go ahead and continue now by talking about iOS 8.1. So the second beta iteration of the firmware was released to registered developers. Now, of course, only those enrolled in Apple's developer iOS program can officially download the firmware, which features a revised build number of 12B407. And while it's too early to definitively state one way or the other, it's definitely likely at this point that iOS 8.1 doesn't fix any major security issues with iOS 8, meaning any of the exploits that the evaders and or Pangu have discovered up until this point for iOS 8 will likely function on iOS 8.1. So it's actually an incredible time for jailbreakers. I created an in-depth video going over that exact topic recently. If you happen to miss it, of course, I will have it linked to down below, and I won't really go over too much related to it, only to say that the next Untethered Jailbreak utility may very well support iOS 8.1 provided the evaders and or Pangu, again, wait until the firmware is released prior to issuing their new Untethered Jailbreak, which it looks like may actually happen considering the iPad models are so close. Again, we will catch our first glimpse of those next week. So as far as iOS 8 Beta 2 is concerned though, according to the beta firmware's changelog, it rectifies bugs pertaining to iCloud, iCloud Drive, back backups created on iCloud, third-party keyboards, health kit, the phone and photos apps, notification center, as well as both provisioning profiles and WebKit for development purposes. Also though, on the topic of jailbreaking, aside from everything I've answered up until this point, I do actually receive another question on a regular basis, and that's whether or not Pangu still functions on iOS 7.1.2, because once it was announced that iOS 8 did patch Pangu, there are a few people still on iOS 7 through 7.1.2 that were concerned about whether or not Pangu still function, and thankfully the answer is yes. As with every jailbreak utility, unless you upgrade to the latest firmware which actually patches said jailbreak utility, you'll be able to fully take advantage of it to jailbreak your device, and in this case, completely untethered. So if you happen to be on iOS 7.1.2, and I happen to know for a matter of fact that there are quite a few people still on iOS 7, as of now the adoption rate for iOS 8 is closing in at about 50%, so it's split right down the middle for the most part between iOS 7 and iOS 8. So for all of my viewers still on iOS 7, you can jailbreak using either Evasion 7 or Pangu. It depends on your firmware though. If you're on iOS 7.0 through 7.0.6, you can jailbreak using Evasion 7. You can find that video linked to on my channel. So just be sure to click my channel name below, go to my channel, and you can find that video there simply by searching jailbreak 7.0.6 for instance. If you're on iOS 7.1 through 7.1.2 though, you will need to utilize Pangu, and the instructions for 7.1 through 7.1.2 are exactly the same, so just be sure to watch my Pangu Untethered Jailbreak tutorial. I actually have a link to that below for your convenience, so just be sure to watch that video if you have yet to. And also another thing to note too, if you update to iOS 8, you cannot downgrade back to iOS 7.1.2 for example. The window has been officially closed. It's been closed for a while now, so you won't be able to go back if you update. So just know that that's one of the most important things as of now. If you're interested in all of the features iOS 8 has to offer, however, and you don't care about losing your jailbreak, then by all means update. But if you want to stay jailbroken, stay where you're at until a new jailbreak utility for iOS 8 is officially released. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say on the topic of jailbreaking though. If you guys want more information on any of that, I have released a number of videos lately, jailbreak update videos discussing the current status and the current situation of things, as well as some of the questions that you guys have been asking me on a regular basis. So I will have some of the more recent ones again linked to below, and you can find all the other ones on my channel. Next up, I actually wanted to talk about unlocking. In an episode of BestTechInfo and Rumors a while back, I announced that unlocking has officially been re-legalized. So yes, those of you interested in unlocking can now officially do so. However, there are a couple of things that you need to note. First of all, there are several different types of unlocks, but only one of which actually functions as of now on the latest devices and on the latest firmwares, with the latest basebands for that matter. First of all though, the original type of unlock was actually a software-based unlock by way of jailbreak. That no longer functions. The next of which is a hardware-based unlock, which you can use some type of hardware in conjunction with your unofficial SIM card to actually unlock your device and be able to use it on other carriers. However, that one was actually contingent upon your firmware and your baseband. And the third, which is definitely the most popular and widespread form of unlocking as of now, is an IMEI or hardware-based unlock. It's done at the factory level essentially. So let's say for instance, your iPhone was originally intended for use on AT&T. Someone from AT&T with the authority to do so actually has to put the IMEI in the carrier's whitelist database. From there, it will connect to Apple servers and it will essentially unlock the device for use on any carrier, provided that the hardware is compatible. So there are a couple of different things, like for instance, AT&T and T-Mobile here in the United States utilize GSM technology as well as most of the world. So those phones will be able to be used on, again, most carriers. However, when you start to get into things like Sprint and Verizon, which use CDMA-based technology, you can't really do the same. You can use them on international carriers, however, but when it comes to use in the United States, it's a little bit different. So So the most popular type of unlocks for IMEI are definitely GSM models, being mostly AT&T as of now. And the reason why I've spent a good amount of time talking about it and detailing it in this week's episode is because myself, Adrian, and Mispa from Free App Life are working on a new service called FAL Unlocks. You can find it at falunlocks.com, and essentially we're trying to provide a cheap solution for people to unlock their iPhone models. If it were up to us, we'd do it completely for free, but unfortunately, because we have to rely on the aforementioned individuals that have the authority to unlock at the carrier level, they charge money to do so. So our goal at FAL Unlocks is to provide unlocking services that are not only cheap and affordable, but also competitive and comparable to the competition that's currently providing unlocks. Now, you can use any IMEI unlock service. Just ensure that they are 100% reliable and that you will actually get your unlock, because sometimes the unlock, for whatever reason, won't process at the carrier level, and depending on the service, they won't issue you a refund. That's not the case with FAL Unlocks, and I'm not trying to promote a service that I started or that I'm behind in this case. Feel free to unlock again with any IMEI-based unlock service. This is just a suggestion and possible solution for everyone who's come to me asking about unlocks and how they can unlock their iPhone. And as of now, because FAL Unlocks is in the initial stages of rolling out, it will only function on AT&T-based iPhones. So keep that in mind. Also, I will probably do a more in-depth video discussing unlocking and some solutions for you guys in the foreseeable future. If you're interested in that, just be sure to let me know down below in the comment section. And with that said, let's go ahead and move on by talking about Apple Pay. I'm extremely excited for Apple Pay. I absolutely cannot wait to get my hands on it, test it, and do some videos for you guys to see what Apple Pay is all about. Essentially though, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Apple Pay offers a completely secure solution for customers to actually pay for their products using either their iPhone 6 or their iPhone 6 Plus and its new NFC chip. But it really goes beyond that. It's actually one of the most secure payment methods due to the secure element chip found on the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus in their A8 processor. And I'm not really going to go over the security or sell you guys on it in this video. Just know that you can find additional information on Apple's website, and I will cover the topic at a later date and time. But for now, over 220,000 different retail stores are already signed up and ready to fully support Apple Pay when the feature launches later this month. And speaking of Apple Pay launching, it's expected to go live when 8.1 is released to the public. So we'll definitely know more soon, and I will cover it for you guys in subsequent videos. Next up, I wanted to talk about GT Advanced Technologies, which is actually a company that Apple contracted to exclusively develop sapphire display covers for their different devices. So like for instance, the Apple Watch, which this is not one, by the way. This is actually a pebble steel smartwatch, but the Apple Watch, the glass on the front is actually sapphire. So the company has been contracted by Apple. They received a $500 million loan. However, before the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus unveiling, the CEO of the company actually sold off his shares. And following the event, when Apple showcased the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus that didn't feature sapphire crystal displays, the company's stock actually dropped quite a bit. But that's not where it ends. Later, the company, GT Advanced Technologies, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Needless to say, because Apple contracted them and gave the company a $500 million loan, they were actually surprised by the move. They even talked to GT and proposed that they pay back their loans at a slower rate, so that way they could continue to produce sapphire in high volume for Apple. However, it doesn't seem like they're interested in that. The story is still developing as of now. I may have some more information for you guys later though, so just be sure to stay tuned if you want details on GT Advanced Technologies and the company's relationship with Apple and whether or not they actually successfully filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And in light of this news, we can likely expect to see some Apple Watch supply constraints. Moving on though, I wanted to talk about something else that I actually found pretty interesting. So for those of you who are familiar with Bose, they create some high quality headphones. Apparently the company has an exclusive deal now with the NFL or National Football League, and any NFL player that's pictured or videoed wearing Beats by Dre headphones will now be fined, and that actually has already happened. One NFL player from the San Francisco 49ers was caught on camera wearing pink Beats by Dre headphones headphones promoting breast cancer awareness, and unfortunately said player was actually fined $10,000. And following that news, it appears as though Apple will remove Bose headphones from not only the company's online store, but also retail locations. So if they follow through with this, don't expect to buy Bose from any Apple store anytime soon. And now finally, to conclude, I wanted to talk about Tesla. In last week's episode of BestTechInfo and Rumors, I discussed how Tesla's CEO and co-founder Elon Musk tweeted out the following, quote, "About time to unveil the D and something else." Well, it appears as though the D is a dual motor iteration of the Tesla Model S, and the something else was an autopilot functionality, or a slew of autopilot features rather, that actually won't go live quite yet. And let me go ahead and back up really quick though. All new Model S's will feature this autopilot technology, which will actually be delivered starting this December, and the features will roll out at a later point in time via over-the-air software updates. But the autopilot functionality will work thanks to a conjunction of a front-facing camera, radar, and 360-degree ultrasonic sensors. The car will even be capable of reading speed limit signs, adjust the speed accordingly, and it can transfer into other lanes based on the turn signal. So let's say you signal to turn left, then the car, if possible, will make a left turn, or I should say when possible. It will actively scan to detect when it's possible to make that transition, and it will do so. So again, you can go left or right now automatically without actually having to drive, thanks to the Tesla Model S autopilot feature. Hopefully shortly after new Model S's roll off of the assembly line with this technology. Now as for the D, or dual motor, it will be available for lower end Teslas all the way up to the performance editions. So you will be able to buy Teslas with two motors, one situated in the rear and one in the front. And that will not only add some extra performance, but it will slightly increase the range. Not too much, but it will increase it. As for the performance, it only goes up about 10 miles per charge off of the same capacity battery, but it looks like Tesla still remains at the forefront of automotive technology. And that's pretty much everything in this week's episode. I hope you guys liked it, and you'll have one last chance to enter to win into my iPhone 6 giveaway. Just be sure to rate this video up, leave a relevant comment down below in the comment section. If you don't know what to leave in the comment section, try answering the question of the day. Let me know what you guys think about the Tesla's autopilot capabilities, and also the upcoming iPad models. What features do you hope that Apple will roll into not only the second generation iPad Air or the 6th generation full-size iPad, but also the 3rd generation iPad mini? Again, let me know in the comments or on Best Tech Info. You'll also need to download Free App Life, as that's a requirement. So simply visit bit.ly/get-free-app-life or freeapplife.com inside of mobile Safari. After hitting download, press the home button, open the app, and if you're on iOS 8, download the temporary secure profile, which is strictly used for associating your device with its proper account in a more secure manner on the latest firmware. It's never even installed on your device, as it's immediately deleted once your account has either been created or reassociated. After that, simply download sponsored apps for points and refer friends. Each download and each referral counts as one entry. Points can then be used for various prizes, including paid apps, gift cards, and electronic devices. And that giveaway was actually scheduled to end last weekend, but it was extended, and it will now end this weekend instead. So Sunday will be your absolute last chance to enter to win an all-new iPhone 6. And following the conclusion of that giveaway, we'll also have additional giveaways on Free App Life, so just be sure to stay tuned. And if you guys want additional details on anything related to jailbreaking, as well as iOS 8, the iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, Apple Pay, the upcoming Apple Watch, and really anything exciting in the world of Apple and technology, just be sure to stay tuned. If you aren't subscribed already, like I said previously, hit that subscribe button down below or on my channel, and just be sure to watch my recent jailbreak update video for the latest on jailbreaking, iOS 8.0.2, and the upcoming 8.1 firmware. And also, if you want to be updated more often, just be sure to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, add me on one of your circles inside of Google+, follow me on Instagram at ICUID, and subscribe to my secondary YouTube channel at youtube.com/ICUID. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.